This is the Netherlands, one of the smallest countries in the world by land area. In fact, it ranks around 131st globally in size, smaller than nations like Nepal or Tunisia. Yet despite being so tiny, the Netherlands has managed to become the third largest exporter of agricultural products on Earth, standing only behind the United States and Brazil, countries that are each more than 200 times larger than the Netherlands itself. So how is this even possible? That a country barely visible on the map can compete with giants blessed with vast plains, endless farmland, and millions of farmers? The answer lies in a national story of innovation, resilience, and a determination to never let hunger return to their land. Around 20 years ago, the Netherlands adopted a daring motto: to produce twice as much food while using only half the resources. But what might have sounded like just another ambitious slogan quickly evolved into a national mission, one that united farmers, scientists, and the government in a common cause. The results that followed have been nothing short of extraordinary. Although the Netherlands has just about 1% of Europe's farmland, it produces nearly 6% of all the food consumed across the continent. Each year, Dutch farms harvest around 1.5 million tons of onions, out of which more than 1.3 million tons are exported to markets abroad. Their greenhouses yield close to 1 million tons of tomatoes annually, with exports generating roughly $2 billion in revenue. Potato production is even more impressive. Dutch farmers produce an average of 20 tons per acre, compared to the global average of just 9 tons. In practical terms, that means a Dutch potato farmer grows more than twice as much as the average Indian farmer, and when it comes to wheat, nearly 3 times as much per acre as a Brazilian farmer. In 2024 alone, the Netherlands exported food worth around $150 billion. For a country of under 18 million people, this is nothing short of extraordinary. But how exactly do they achieve this miracle of efficiency? The first key is that much of Dutch agriculture doesn't happen in open fields, but indoors. Across the country, nearly 24,000 acres of crops are grown inside enormous greenhouses, an area nearly double the size of Manhattan. Inside these vast glass structures, crops are grown year-round under precisely controlled conditions of temperature, light, and humidity. This method has transformed efficiency. Greenhouse farming in the Netherlands uses 90% less water and 97% fewer pesticides than traditional farming. In fact, just 1 acre under glass can yield as much food as 10 acres in the open. Water efficiency is another area where the Netherlands lead the world. Growing a pound of tomatoes in the Netherlands requires just half a gallon of water. By comparison, the same pound needs around 34 gallons in China and over 28 gallons on average worldwide. Numbers like these explain why Dutch farms have become a global benchmark for modern agriculture. But this success didn't come out of nowhere. It was born out of tragedy. During World War II, in the winter of 1944 to 1945, the western part of the Netherlands suffered what came to be known as the Hunger Winter. After railway workers went on strike to support the Allied forces, the German occupiers cut off food and fuel supplies of the region. What followed was devastating. Temperatures plunged, and with no heating or transport, families were left desperate. People walked for days in the freezing cold, clutching their last possessions to barter for a few potatoes. Many had nothing left and were forced to eat tulip bulbs or sugar beets just to survive. Daily rations dropped to a shocking 580 calories per person, and more than 22,000 people died from starvation. The Hunger Winter left a lasting scar on the Dutch people, and when the war ended, their leaders vowed that food insecurity would never threaten the nation again. Agriculture was elevated to a top national priority. Farmers were given government support to modernize and invest in machinery. Research institutions focused on developing techniques to raise yields, while cooperative farming networks were strengthened to stabilize supply chains. The impact was remarkable. Between 1950 and 1980, agricultural output rose by more than 60%, even as total farmland declined due to rapid urban growth. Fertilizer use tripled, milk yields doubled, and poultry farming became fully industrialized, setting the foundation for the highly efficient system the Netherlands is known for today. A central driver of this progress was the rise of Wageningen University in Research, located in the small town of Wageningen. Today, it is considered the world's #1 agricultural university, even ahead of major institutions in the US and China. Around it grew what is known as Food Valley, the agricultural version of Silicon Valley. In this region, more than 1,500 agri-food companies, research labs, and startups are clustered together, working closely with Wageningen scientists. Global giants such as Nestle, Coca-Cola, and Cargill have set up research centers within just 50 kilometers of the campus. Some of them operate joint laboratories with university teams, while others use the area to test new approaches in crop science, food safety, and sustainable farming. Within this small region, you'll find almost every part of the modern food system represented, from seed development and cold storage to packaging, automation, and logistics. But there's another valley just as important, Seed Valley, in the province of North Holland. It is home to some of the world's top seed companies, such as Enza Zaden and Rijk Zwaan. These firms focus on developing seeds that are high-yield, climate-resilient, and resistant to plant diseases. For example, Enza Zaden developed a tomato variety resistant to the tomato brown rugose fruit virus. Seed Valley's reach is global. It supplies more than 1,200 vegetable varieties to over 100 countries. Every single day, about 2.5 billion people around the world eat vegetables grown from Dutch-developed seeds. This is how a nation of under 18 million shapes agriculture far beyond its borders. Geography has also played a major role in the Netherlands' farming success. Much of the country sits on land reclaimed from the sea, known as polders. These areas were once completely underwater, but over centuries, the Dutch drained them using dikes, canals, and pumps, gradually turning them into usable farmland. Over time, rainwater naturally washed away the salt from the soil, making it rich and fertile. And because this newly created land had no forests, animals, or other ecosystems to disturb, it provided a completely open canvas for agriculture, land that could be planned, organized, and cultivated from scratch. And then there is the port of Rotterdam, the largest in Europe and one of the busiest in the world. Rotterdam acts as the main gateway for goods entering and leaving Europe. This inflates Dutch export numbers, since a significant share of products shipped from Rotterdam were actually imported first and then re-exported. For instance, the Netherlands imports about 20 to 25% of the world's cocoa beans, but most are processed and sent onward to countries like Germany and France. Still, their trade and logistics system is a key reason why Dutch agriculture dominates global markets. Of course, this success has come with serious challenges. With nearly 4 million cows and over 100 million chickens, the Netherlands has one of the highest livestock densities in Europe. This intense concentration of animals produces enormous amounts of manure and ammonia, releasing nitrogen into the soil, water, and air. Over time, this has damaged forests, polluted waterways, and threatened biodiversity, pushing many species in the Netherlands to the brink. By 2019, the crisis had become so severe that Dutch courts ordered thousands of construction projects to stop until nitrogen emissions were reduced. When the government later proposed cutting livestock numbers by half by 2030, farmers saw it as a direct attack on their livelihoods. This triggered one of the largest farmer protests in Dutch history. Tractors blocked highways, distribution centers were disrupted, and upside-down Dutch flags appeared across the countryside as a symbol of resistance. The movement soon transformed into political power. Farmers and their supporters united under the Farmer Citizen Movement, BBB. In the 2023 Senate elections, the party shocked the nation by winning 38 of 75 seats, more than any other party, proving just how deeply the nitrogen crisis had divided Dutch society. In response to the crisis and growing political pressure, the government pledged billions of euros to buy out farms, fund cleaner technologies, and restore damaged ecosystems. Yet the core challenge remains. How can the Netherlands continue to be one of the world's most efficient food producers while also safeguarding its environment? Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.